In this video, we're going to cover market equilibrium and consumer and producer surplus. Supply and demand are put together to determine equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. So in this case, the equilibrium price, where supply meets demand, is at 3 and the equilibrium quantity is 30. At a price of $4, there's disequilibrium. The quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied. How much is the surplus at $4? The answer would be 20. The difference between 40 and 20 is 20. At $2, there's disequilibrium. The quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied. There's a shortage. How much is the shortage at a price of $2? The shortage would be 30, the difference between 50 and 20. How much is the shortage if the price is $1? The shortage would be 70, the difference between 80 and 10. The free market system automatically pushes the price toward equilibrium. So when there is a surplus, producers are going to lower their prices. When there is a shortage, producers are going to raise their prices. Pause the video and see if you can answer this question. The answer would be A. Consumer surplus and producer surplus. The most important single central fact about a free market is that no exchange takes place unless both parties are going to benefit. That's a quote from Milton Friedman. So let's consider that you want to buy a truck. So you go to the local dealership. You're willing to spend up to 20 grand for a new 4x4. The seller is willing to sell this truck for no less than 15 grand. After some negotiation, you buy the truck for 18. So the buyer's maximum is 20,000. The seller's minimum is 15,000, and the price the truck was sold for is 18,000. Consumer surplus is 2,000, the difference between what the consumer was willing to pay and what they actually had to pay. So the 20,000 minus the 18,000. Producer surplus is 3,000. The 15,000 minus what the truck actually sold for, 18,000, is referred to as producer surplus. So we define consumer surplus as the difference between what you're willing to pay and what you actually pay. And producer surplus is the difference between the price the seller receives and how much they're willing to sell it for. This graph illustrates both consumer surplus and producer surplus. Consumer surplus is the area below the demand curve all the way down to the equilibrium price, which is $20. Producer surplus is the area from the supply curve up to the equilibrium price of $20. You can calculate consumer and producer surplus by calculating the area of a triangle, so the area of this space. So in this case, if you did the calculations, the consumer surplus would be $225. The producer surplus would be $150. And the total surplus, these two numbers added together, would be $375. Assume only 10 units are produced. So if that's the case here, what's going to happen to the total surplus? Total surplus is going to fall. It's no longer going to be this triangle here, but just this portion right here. This is identified then as a deadweight loss. We'll come back to the concept of deadweight loss throughout the semester. So pause the video and I want you to calculate consumer surplus, producer surplus, and total surplus. And here are the answers.